So you play the whole section of the verse, the 2 times through, except for, I'm sorry, 1 time through, but you use the second ending. So you go to that F, and we're back to the break section again. This time the rhythm is going to be different. We have break 2 here on the chart. That's the next thing. I didn't rewrite the verse parts over again. It's exactly the same. You just follow that form again, and then we move to break 2. So break 2 is a little bit more sporadic. It's a little bit more broken up a little bit. So here, let me just play it for you at speed. 1, 2, or I'll play using the riff right before it. Now let me show you that little tricky riff. This is like probably it's the first time he really goes high, as far as high in the range in the song. All the rhythms before that in this break section are still just based on quarter notes and eighth notes and the same basic notes here. We got the G, the F natural, the open E. There is one chromatic approach, and that's in bar, what is it? Bars, I think it's 64 there. It's a 2/4 bar. So that's the one extra note that hasn't been played before in that break section there. The rest of the rhythms are pretty straight ahead. You just sort of have to mess around with it or practice it to get better. But, okay, so after the third 2/4 bar, which is, looks like it's bar 68, this is where we have this riff that's going to go higher, and we're going to be using major pentatonic. So starting right after the third 2/4 bar, okay, we're going to end up on that low E again. This is sort of his different way of getting down to that low E like we did the first time, just a little bit of a different way. So let me slow it down a little bit. So we start off with 2 quarter notes on G. We have an 8th note rest and a quarter note, so now we're on the offbeat. And then we pick up to, oh, sorry. Landing on those offbeats. Again, just major pentatonic. Box pattern. And then this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. Open D with E, open G, and then to an F natural, and then open D, back to F, and then the low open E. So I got to mute those strings quickly like that. So really, it's not a huge amount of hand motion here. I'm sort of trying to take advantage of the D string. Playing the G here, but then going down, open D to E, G, and then F natural, and then open D, F, and then open E. Again, that anticipated high E right after that. Okay, then now we have the that trick section again, and nothing has changed. The rhythms are exactly the same, except we're going to a different riff after it. This is the the jam riff. I don't know. We're getting into some more complicated rhythms coming up next. We've got some quarter note triplets, and I don't think we've had any of those in prior lessons. Again, this is definitely on the advanced side for rhythm and chart reading and everything. So basically, a quarter note triplet has 3 notes where normally 2 notes would be normally. So in the span of 2 quarter notes, we're going to play 3 equally spaced notes. So if these are quarter notes, ba 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 ba. Let me slow it down a little bit. If these are quarter notes, ba 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 ba, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. I'm counting out quarter note triplets. I'm playing regular quarter notes. So for every 2 claps, I've got 3 notes. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1. This is a tricky bit of rhythmic figuring out to do if you've never done it before. You're holding 3 against 2. We call that polyrhythms. So this is an example of a polyrhythm. But I'm sort of getting ahead of myself. Let me play the trick section into this new riff, and then we'll break it down a little bit further. 1 2 3 4 1. Okay, so let's take a look at this. We have a quarter note triplet, and then we have a half note. So the quarter note triplets are going to take up the same amount of space as the half note. And again, this is all in E minor, so the notes aren't anything difficult. And at the end, we have that little 16th note rhythm. And doing a down, up, down. It's going to require some pick practice to get that up to speed. Sometimes you can roll it off or hit the G and the E, but roll through the F sharp. And you know that riff. If you know the song, you've heard that riff. All based on E minor. Okay, so that goes on for a very long time. You play that, what, 12 times through that 4-bar riff. And then there's a guitar interlude that goes on for quite a decent while. Then, let's see here. What do we got next? We've got, this is such a long song. That's why this lesson is going to go on for a little while. It's a 3-page chart, I think. Yeah, at least 3 pages. So after that guitar riff, we're sort of going to be out of the key for a moment here. This is sort of an odd little moment, a bridge, if you will. This is the setup for the guitar solo, basically, or I'm sorry, the organ solo, which is going to be in G. So once we get out of that minor riff, I call it the in and around the lake. When he says in and around the lake, when we get to that section, that's where those first 3 bars of rest start. In and around the lake. Right there, that's where you start counting to make your entrance here. And we're going to start on a A sharp or a B flat, however you want to look at it. And we have a trill here at the very end. So the rhythm is dotted quarters and eighth tied to a quarter. Oh, sorry. Like that, a trill. I don't know if we've talked about trills, but a trill basically is going as fast as you can, basically, between 2 different notes. In this case, it's between an E and an F. Whatever fingers work better for you. Oh, sorry. Okay, so that trill only lasts a couple of beats, so it's not that long. Once the trill is done, we do a G for 2 beats, F natural, then A sharp, and a D sharp. You can play it either here or on the D string. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're into the organ solo.